Good morning, Year 9. So today's lesson is a little bit different and it does require you to be quite independent, okay? So obviously we've now finished our inspector calls, you know what happens in the plot, you know what happens in your characters. When you come back into the academy, we'll move on to a new unit, but we will come back to our inspector calls and we'll start having a look at the context and some of the key quotations that you'll need to be able to produce essays. So what I'd like you to do this lesson is kind of a little bit of pre-reading for that. So there are several different contextual factors on the following slides. What I want you to do is pick one and then you're going to do a little fact file about it. So there's some questions on the slide to help you. There's some URLs on each of the slides as well that you can access. But the idea is that you are going to pick one of these topics and you're going to research the impact that that topic might have had on the writing of an inspector calls. So if we just move through the slides, you can see obviously what I mean. So first of all, you might want to actually do a little bit more research into JB Priestley himself, okay? There's some questions here that you could look up. So where did he grow up? What was his life like as he was growing up? Was Priestley from a working class, middle class or upper class background? How do you know? What did Priestley do during the First World War? What role did Priestley perform during the Second World War? And why do you think Priestley rejected a knighthood and a peerage but accepted the Order of Merit? So these are all things that if you Google, you'll find the answers to, okay? So you could create a fact file on JB Priestley. You might want to have a look at the Edwardian era, so that's when the play is set, okay? And there's all these different links here, look, that you can access that will give you a little bit of information about the Edwardian period. And you can start to have a think about, you know, how the Edwardian era would have some sort of impact on the writing of the play as well. You might want to have a look at the difference between well-made plays and morality plays, or whether they are similar, okay? And again, there's some links at the bottom of the slide to help you with that. You might want to have a look at the post-war period and have a think about how that might have had an impact, obviously, on the play itself. Or you might want to have a look at the Titanic. So obviously you know that Mr. Berlin discusses it. And again, it's a huge part of kind of the play's context. So you might want to include the two world wars, again, are quite a heavy influence to the play. So you might want to have a look at those. But the idea is you pick whichever one of these topics takes your interest and you do the research into it and then you kind of share your findings with me and then we can build and develop on those in our next unit of work. All right, if you've got any problems, let me know. I'm not too fussy about how you set it out. You can type it up on the computer if you want to. You can write it out in your books. The idea is, though, you should be answering those questions in red. All right, and completing the show my homework.